Okay, welcome to day 13, and it's Evan Williams, Bottled in Bond. Once again, this is the Whisky Advent Calendar, those of you following along. Now, some people have asked, how come we're not publishing these generally across the internet? And we're gonna, once we're done, I'm gonna release them for people to go back and watch them. But I kind of wanted to keep this series separate from the daily videos going out and not distracting from those. And I also wanted to keep it sort of this private inside crew hanging out and drinking whiskey together, because it's you guys that helped create this and put it together, and John helping drive the engine to keep me on task and figuring out what order to put these in. And so I wanted it to be ours. I wanted this to be ours. So much of the things that Rex and I create, we're always having to make sure we think about outsiders and about how the general world is gonna have to think about these things, and that we're covering some of those. And this I wanted just for us. And then the rest of the world can see it later. And I mean, we're linking, we're not hiding it. It's being linked from whiskytribe.com. But yeah, I wanted this to be ours. Yeah. So Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. What do you say about, I mean, one of the quintessential Heaven Hill products? I don't know. There's just, it just is. It's so densely perfumey compared to the other classic bourbons we've tried so far. Kind of heady and apple. And there is that brown sugar, but it's more like pie, right? It's like the brown sugar with the apple and the yeast and the bread, right? And the pastry. It's very mid-range and shiny high. There it is. And there it rounds down, but it's still kind of brittle spicy, while it's simultaneously rounding down and spreading out and smoothing out on the palate and getting those more deep, rich mid-tone. There's not a lot of bass on this. There's mostly mids and highs. All right, so what would this be? So just a classic American spirit. Beautiful, rich mid-range and a lot of highs. I think I know. It's Tom Petty. Specifically, it's Tom Petty, the Wallflower album. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I always think, so if you ever saw Tom Petty in concert before he died, he, live, the bass was always turned up a little bit more, and you got this like big thumpy rock Tom Petty. But for some reason on most, especially on Wallflower, even though that album is song for song fantastic, they mixed the bass a little light on that album for more modern, the way that modern music is mixed now, where everything is bass heavy. But it doesn't sacrifice low end. It's just, they shifted that bass up a little bit into the mid-tonality, and there's this really dense mid-range in the Wallflower album, and I love it. I feel the same way about Fleetwood Mac, where you always hear their songs being more heavy rock and roll in your memory, and then you go back and listen to the album like Rumors, and you keep needing to turn the bass up just a little, whereas, you know, live, it's just, the bass is always turned up. Live, you get that full body impact. So it could be a toss-up between Rumors or Wallflower, and but I'm gonna say Tom Petty, just the quintessential Americana, Evan Williams. No, what do you think? You guys enjoying these music comparisons? I think this could be a fun thing in general, if Rex and I could find the bandwidth to turn into something that's like a real thing. The big problem with doing real music comparisons, like if we played the song and showed you, is the copyright problems are a nightmare. And once again, big business and big brands and publishing companies don't understand YouTube. at all. So when you reach out to them saying, hey, I'm going to pair your song from your artist with a whiskey, they want all the classical payment structures as if you were releasing a cover, or they just don't know what to do with reference media and excerpts and, you know, things like that. It's inevitably a video will get claimed by their record label, and then all of that, now there's ads on it, and it's just complicated. So for now, we'll talk about it, and you can go listen to that song on your own and see if I'm getting it right. Okay, as this song goes through, like if you remember what's the one on there? There's one song that I have in my head. Oh, have to move on, have to keep going. Where I head, I have no way of knowing. Under my feet, babe, the grass is growing. Yeah, it's time to move on. That's what it is. It's time to move on. It's time to get going. That's what this is. It's specifically, it's so classic, it's nostalgic. It's nostalgic for a song that didn't exist before it, but it still feels nostalgic. Evan Williams is such a classic bourbon. It brings feelings of nostalgia just by itself. Ooh, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one actually today. Anyway, so there you go. Evan Williams, Bottled in Bond, Tom Petty. It's time to move on. Until tomorrow, may your crazy stay this side of legal, and may you return before we have time to miss you. Cheers.